Hey guys, welcome to the Birddoggin podcast. I'm your host, Jared Moss. I got Mr. Jordan Hoyt that's with me this evening. Welcome. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're dropping in. If you're on just listening to the audio on the podcast, welcome as well. We're going to be talking all things bird dogs, from hunting to training, everything in between. So appreciate you for listening. Enjoy the show. So Jordan, I want to do a quick chat about like nutrition and hydration. It's early season. It's still September, October. It's still pretty warm. We're start season's right around the corner. We're going to start hunting. I'm super excited to have you guys out. And as dogs have been coming in, I've been helping a lot of guys like try to get their nutrition dialed in. Hydration is a big one. I want to hit hydration real quick. Dogs Are Treed makes this pre-hydration. They call it their hydration system. They have like a little pre-hydration product and then a post. And it's really all based off of the research that Dr. Arnie Reynolds did, who yeah, I can't remember everything. In a nutshell, he was like one of the big Iditarod guys. And if I remember right, he actually raced in the Iditarod. So he's trying to dial, as a veterinarian, he's trying to dial his own dog's nutrition on his pack. And he was trying these different ways to gets things into their muscles as fast as possible for recovery. So it's the same thing. I mean, I'm taking supplements when we're elk hunting hard and we're sweating for 6 hours straight, packing an elk out of a hole. I'm rehydrating. I'm taking mountain ops. I'm taking things to rehydrate my body, and the same things for our dogs. So if anybody has any questions on that, the dogs are treat stuff, message me. I'd be glad to chat with you one on one about it. I don't want to get in the weeds about it, but there's some products out there. There's some other supplement companies that do a great job too. Part of the hydration piece is like your nutrition is only going to be good as hydration. So it's interesting. We're at Eukanuba. They're telling us all this great stuff about Eukanuba dog food, and I recommend Eukanuba. I feed it to all my dogs.
Me too.
I think you do. I think
Yep.
a lot of the guys that have built a community help or been around me, they've heard the Eukanuba spill. But I'm going to sing it from the rooftops for a couple of reasons. Number one, before I leave hydration, you can have the best nutrition in the world, but without the proper nutrition hydration, the dog can only take so much into his body. So that was one thing that you helped me understand is like we're feeding a high premium diet. It's almost like 98% digestible, meaning of everything that comes in, the dog can use 98% of it, which kudos to them because they've built a recipe. They've put hundreds and thousands, probably a lot more money than they want to say. They've put into R&D to find out if we put this into a piece of kibble, how much of that can the dog use? So proper nutrition is so important. But even they tell us without the proper hydration to couple with that nutrition, the dog can only pull so much out of it anyway. So if you're not hydrating your dog, it's just going through the system and the dog's not able to utilize it. So digestibility is a huge piece, and that's all. It's crazy, but it's all based on hydration with the proper nutrition and combined. So why I wanted to bring this up, so that's so important. Early September chucker hunt. I'm with Lady and Fritz. I'm pretty young at this time. We hiked up a pretty good mountain, got on top of it, and I look over and Lady's doing like the drunken stagger. And immediately I was like, crap. I had given her water on that morning. It was still 65, 70 degrees. So it felt cool because we'd been in the 90s. So I'm like, oh, we're good. I get to the top of the hill. She does that. I hand my shotgun to my brother. I throw her on my shoulders and we run to the bottom of the mountain. And literally, I just dumped my shells on the side of the hill or right next to the truck. And then her and I went right together into the pond. And unbeknownst to me, that was the greatest thing I could do for her was cool her nice and slow. The pond water wasn't freezing, but it was enough cool, quick enough to help her not go into like there's different stages of dehydration, right? But she was in the beginning stages of that. So I say all that to say it's preseason, guys. Even though it feels like it's 60 or 70 degrees and it's cool, your dog's been sitting at the couch, he's been sitting at the house, he's been sitting there getting fat and sassy. You probably haven't preconditioned run your dogs like you're supposed to, because a lot of us don't. And so hydration, hydration, hydration. I use their final rise pack because of that. I can pack the hydration with me. There's just so many cool things that you can do. But I want to break that down today a little bit in the podcast.
Yeah, man.
What thoughts do
I
you
want
have?
to hear. Yeah, I want to hear. Obviously, any tips or tricks for when you're, let's say you take a, let's set up a scenario. You're going out
Right.
and we're going out to go hunt some grouse, right? What is our ideal day for our dog from a nutrition and hydration standpoint to
Yeah.
be ready to hunt for? Like, we're hunting grouse, what, 2 3 days? Like, what is
Yeah.
our ideal way to do this? Because obviously you're not just doing it for one day, you're doing it for multiple days. And
Right.
when are they absorbing the most nutrition? When's the best time to hydrate them? What should you pack with
Sure.
you while you're hunting? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. So one tip that I've heard from a lot of veterinarians, and I think is crucial, is like, and my challenge to you, Jordan, is start doing it now. So you're 30 days out from coming out, start teaching Honey to drink from a water bottle, like a squirt
Yep.
bottle or whatever device you're going to have on you. It's interesting when you show them a new device, like a silicone bowl. If they haven't ever drank out of one at home, they're not going to do it when they're on a road trip or on a hunt because they're like they're just kind of it's almost like they're in work mode and they're like, no, I don't know what that is. I'm not used to that. So if I could tell you anything, it'd be like start floating Honey's food now. So you're teaching her float food and teach the dog to drink from whatever water device you're going to take with you on your hunt. Do that
Awesome.
30 days prior or even 60 days prior. And the
Phenomenal
veterinarians
tip.
that I've talked to are like, don't wait till it's the night before the hunt to try to float your food. And what I mean by that is for every cup of food, you put a cup and a half to 2 cups of water. And so you have kind of like for me, the Eukanuba is kind of floating just like you would, just enough milk in your cereal to not make it soggy, but not to make it so dry you can't eat it. That kind of concept, right? What that does is most dogs will drink all the water, then eat the kibble. You're forcing the dog to hydrate. So teach them how to do that before you get on the road. So when you're on the road and they don't want to drink, but they're hungry, they'll force the hydration and then they'll be able to pull out the nutrition out of the kibble. Do that before you get here. That's huge.
Yeah,
Um,
that's awesome.
do it before you go to South Dakota. I learned this the hard way. I threw 13 dogs on a truck and we went to South Dakota for the first year. 2011 or 2010, something like that. And it was like, got there, hunted the tails off of them for a day and a half, and nobody was eating, nobody was drinking. Really great. It was just kind of like, well, crap, why is nobody eating well? I'm providing a high kibble. And it's just because I didn't do my prep work up front, right? I put them in a new environment, new bowls. Most people don't understand this, but horses are notorious for this. If you're competing with a horse, you pack water from home to the place that you're going to compete. Because if you give them water from Texas and they've been in Utah, they sniff the water from Texas and go, nope, not drinking that. Don't know what that is. And horses are very specific or can be very picky on what they're drinking. Dogs do the same thing. I've had guys that have done the same issue. They get here, I pour them some water out of my jug, and they're like, "That smells off. That doesn't smell like home." And so they
That's
won't
Utah
drink for the
water.
first day and a half, right? It's like
Yeah.
so not only practice at home, but bring your own water on the road for those first few days until you kind of get things in a rhythm. Bring enough water for the first 2 days so that the dog's like, oh, yep, that smells like home. It smells like what comes into my every day it's in my bowl. I'm used to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's, dude, that's a phenomenal tip. It's
Yeah.
so ideally when you get a dog out, let's say you're waking up, getting ready to get out and hunt, right? What's your ideal method for hydration and nutrition on a hunt day? Do you do anything before the hunt? Do you wait till during the hunt to hydrate and then feed after? What's your go-to, man?
So if you're trying to hydrate the morning or feed the morning of, you're already behind. What you're
Yeah.
doing 2 or 3 days before the hunt is what's going to matter the day of the hunt. And I think that I learned that more from like an athletic standpoint than anything. When you start competing in athletics at a pretty high level, not that I did much, but I've been involved with it. I've coached some and I've my kids have been involved in it. And those coaches are sitting down with my kids. Kyson wrestled pretty hard there. And it was like, all right, Kyson, you're hitting the gym, you're doing this, you're doing that, how much protein, how much are we getting? We're looking 3 to 4, 5 days before the match to actually fuel the body for the day of the match. And so same with your dogs. Um, Nutrition wise, you should be on whatever you're going to hunt this fall, mid-August, mid-September. Don't switch it the week before. Switch it through. It takes 40 to 60 days for that dog to acclimate to the feed. Even though in Eukanuba we have the same chassis, we can move between feeds really easy, whether it's the premium performance or the exercise or the sport, whatever. The chassis is all the same, so we can move between those different cocktails. But your dog needs about 40 days to acclimate to that. Really, he does. And so get him on the 30-20 in August and September. Don't wait until game day. The night before, I think is important. I'm always trying to hydrate and feed the night before. There's research that goes both ways. I've talked to Dr. Russ Kelly about this a lot. He's also done a bunch of work for Eukanuba and the Iditarod. And it's like the only way to feed properly in the morning before a hunt is to wake up at 2 a.m. and feed your dog and then give him 4 hours to get that processed in for the 6 o'clock hunt.
Mm.
Most of us are not going to do that because we didn't go to bed till midnight. So
Not
you've got
me. What are you talking about, Jared? That doesn't sound like me, man.
Jordan doesn't even sleep. He just rolls by the campfire at
Yeah.
6. It's 5. Let's go, fellas.
All
But
right. Yeah, let's roll.
um, yeah, so breaking it down night before, months before, start getting the right diet months before, break it down the night before, and really it's the 2 or 3 days leading up to the day of the hunt. Some tips on the hunt. Take a Ziploc bag, throw a half a cup of food in there, and when you take a break on the hill and you got a moment, see if you can get your dog to take 4 or 5 pieces of kibble. It's those little micro deposits that are going to help replenish those carbohydrates and fats that will be broken down instantaneously. It's just a little bit to replenish. You're not gonna, unfortunately, we can't fuel these athletes on the run. You and I do not work them at a high enough level like an endurance athlete does. You know, those guys that are zipping and ripping and
Yeah.
they know how many carbs they got to put in. They know they've got it dialed, right? And I'm not to that level. I'm not the endurance runner. My brother does some of those ultra marathons at 10,000 feet, and his nutrition is on point 140 days before he even has the event, right? And it's a build up to it, and then relax and release before it, and then go. And so, um, that's I any other questions on nutrition or hydration?
Yeah. No, I think, if anybody has any more detailed questions or specifics, reach out to us. We can
Right.
try to help you there. If you want any more information about Eukanuba and the benefits of it, Jared's got a really great podcast that,
Yeah.
um,
There's a podcast with Dr. Jill Klein.
Joe
Google that
Klein. Yeah.
podcast and go listen to it, man. She
Yeah.
she breaks it down so cool. She's phenomenal. And if anybody needs any more information in general, if I don't have the answer, there's a brain trust of 27, I don't know. There's a lot of veterinarians there at Eukanuba, and I can pop in there and ask a question.
Yeah.
Like we have, if I don't have the answer, we'll go find the answer or get you in touch with the person that has the answer, right? I think that's more important than me saying, "Oh, I know everything." No.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah. It's about asking people, finding out the questions, finding the experts, the people that truly understand the ins and outs of it. And the great part about it is when we ask them to answer your question, we learn
We learn
just as
every
much
time.
as you do, which is
Right.
awesome. So always down for that.
I think
No,
one
man.
thing too is try to pack water with you. Teach them to drink. The water bottle method works okay, but if you really look at it, if you're going to do that, teach them to put the spout of the water bottle in the corner of their mouth so the water gets behind the tongue and it actually goes down the throat. Watch for a lot of phlegm, that white phlegm that builds up. You can literally get in there and pull it out.
Hmm.
I'm anal about keeping feathers out of my dog's mouth. They're like, leave me alone, but I'm like, nope, it's coming out. We're getting every feather out of there because they're cycling all that heat, through that blood, through their tongue. A lot of that's being dispersed there. Keeping that clean and moist is important. You've got to know your individual dog. Cash is not a big eater. He's not. He's not. Even here at the house, like on the day to day, he does not. He eats what he feels like he needs. Some dogs, you put down 50 pounds of dog food, they'd eat every piece of kibble. Cash is not that way. So I have to find ways to keep Cash like wanting to eat. I'm not a big fan of the toppers, but sometimes you got to put a little gravy or a little something in there. Some of those toppers, a squirt of fish oil, something on the when you're hunting day 26, day 27, you've got to start figuring out ways your individual dog, know your dog, be able to read your dog, and it's okay if you pull him out of the box that morning, look at him and go, "Whoa, something
Something.
doesn't feel right. You're staying here today, Emma. Lou, you're going with me. Cash is staying in." He's gonna whine and cry and be pissed off. But if he comes out of the box and cleans out, I had a good buddy that did this last year. Dog got out, pissed blood. He's like, didn't see that coming, right? Went and ran every test under the sun. That dog was fine. But that morning, he was peeing blood. He had something going on with the kidneys, and he elected not to hunt him. And I think it was brilliant. It's like, man, I've never seen that before. When you got a guy that hunts 150 days a year and he pulls his dog out of the truck and it does something off and he goes, whoa, that guy knew what was up. Something was off with his dog that day.
Yeah.
And he knew it. He saw it. He saw it in the way that, and he noticed the blood in the urine. Watching those dogs, the fecal matter that comes out while you're hunting and stressing. You're putting a dog through a lot of stress, or he's taking in a lot of water. You're doing a bunch of retrieves in the salt water. That can mess up GI tracts. You can have diarrhea. All of those things, massive diarrhea, just get a hold of a veterinarian. We could do a whole nother podcast about sub Q. I think that's something that's really cool. Be fun to pull in some of these guys that have done it, like Dan Cossie and some of these guys that have been ATF agents. Man, they've literally put like two camelbacks full of water on their dogs, literally
So
sub Q them that much so that they can go work in 90-degree heat with
yeah, because
80.
they're out in Texas, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and those guys were looking for vital information for specific cases, and it's like the dogs have got to work. Like we're
They
not
got
going to
to do.
find this casing, this shell casing, when the grass is, knee high and there's 2 miles to search. Me and John aren't going to find it. Like we got to have the dogs help. Well, it's way too hot to work a dog, so let's figure. Well, we got to do it. So they figured out ways to get around it. Be kind of fun to have them on a podcast.
It would be.
Uh,
It'd be cool too, just in general. Talk
yeah,
about what these dogs can do because that's
they're
so cool. We were talking about
capable.
search and rescue earlier. Like
Yes.
that stuff is so cool. If we can get some people that can do that, love to help get that information to you guys.
Yeah, I think those are some general ones. One here's a tip that my buddy that I hunt with, Ryan Forbush, his dog does the same thing. He won't eat much. When he gets in hunting mode, he does not want to stop and eat. He doesn't want to drink even. So he's gotten some of this like the liquid IV type stuff that he makes up the night before. And then he has a single treat from Costco. I don't want to promote the treat that much, but it's just a piece of duck. It's a single ingredient duck and it's dried. It's dried. And he'll put that glycerin stuff on there and that dog will eat that specific treat when we're hunting. He gets 5 or 6 of those in that dog at lunchtime and he swears by that's enough to keep him. I feel like at
Mhm.
least you feel like you're doing something for your dog, right? So I think to wrap a bow around all of that, it's like you need to know your individual dog and you need to be kind of prepared. Watch, educate yourself a little bit about heat exhaustion and your dog getting too hot. There's actually some, I hate to tout YouTube, but there's some good YouTube videos out there kind of showing what your dog's going to act like when he's in the certain stages of heat exhaustion. And I think if you educate yourself a little bit, then you knowing your dog, you see your dog go, whoa, something's off, right? When something's off, man, put the gun away, the hunt's over. Like, just take care of your best buddy. So,
Yeah, you put way too much time and way too much money and way too much effort
right.
into that dog to let one hunt or a couple birds take
Yes.
that away. So
And be intentional. One last plug. Be intentional where you're going to go hunt. We're going to go hunt early season grouse. There's one spot I know we're going. There's a creek that runs right down the middle of it. So I know our dogs are going to have access to cold water throughout that whole morning, and that makes me feeling better as the owner of, as the handler of the dog, like, okay, if I can do hunt, if it's early season, can I do some scouting or do some, oh, I remember that one spot. I remember this spot that's got water readily accessible, right? That can make or break an early season hunt. It really can.
Yeah. Great tip, man.
Hey, appreciate y'all for listening to the Birddoggin podcast. If you have any questions or would like any more information, reach out at bestgundogs.com, or you can reach me at my social media, most active on Instagram at bestgundogs. And keep listening. Appreciate y'all.